Maynard Shaw was not a good-looking man.
Maynard actually tipped those scales with some dark magic.
My father's enemies clearly outnumbered his friends.
It seems that Maynard Shaw came to town here. Nobody had heard of him. Nobody knows why he came. There were no connections, no family, no friends. And in just a very short period of time, it was almost like he just took over the town.
The Shaw's family was well known in this area for several reasons. Well, one, Maynard Shaw had come into town. Nobody knew where he came from, who his family was, or what he was doing here. But in a short while, soon everybody in town knew who Maynard was.
He wanted something, he got it. One way or the other.
So when Maynard first came to town, the story goes that he set his sights on this young lady named Margaret.
Everybody adored Margaret. She was one of the most beautiful women here in town. Well, Maynard set his eyes upon her, and soon enough, she was his. But there was a problem. She was engaged to someone else. Well, that didn't stop Maynard.
Well, he was sort of betrothed, is that a good word, to someone else when he met her? But that was as meaningless as some of his tricks of magic.
The poor young man, he was just devastated. You know, it had been a long courtship, and they had a long-term relationship, and his heart was literally quite broken. And sad as it was, he actually did take his life.
Well, pretty soon, Maynard and Margaret had a family, and even there was talk about how sinister their children were. The other kids wouldn't play with them because they kind of just said that they were evil. They kind of were mean to them.
They weren't allowed to have friends. They had to just stay in the house all the time.
My mother always used to say she wanted nothing to do with that old man, but she wouldn't hold out against him, and he just wore her down. He got his way.
There was this flash of lightning, and this huge tree branch fell against the side of the house. And in the morning, she was just found dead.
The house sat empty for about 10 years. It was known as the death house here in town. There had just been so many tragic things that had happened there, and so many mysterious things. So none of the local people would have anything to do with it.
Rumor had it that the gentleman who lived there, who owned the house and half of the town, that he dabbled in black magic. So then that makes people's imaginations more sensitive to things.
I rented this house, of course. People tell me, you know, this place is haunted. And people have told me stories about it all the time. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. I don't believe it. I mean, leave me alone. I need a place to live.
It started out about once a week where the lights in the hallway would just flicker. And at first I thought, okay, it's just a power surge.
It all started one night about, I'll say 2 or 3 weeks after I moved into the room, and started with footsteps.
Really say for sure, because I was sitting there and the TV began to kind of like flicker, you know, on and off.
I woke up, there was this man standing over me, screamed her head off. I jumped out of my bed.
And I look up, and there was just this white blip just walked right around the corner of the house.
I saw the man. I mean, he lives in that house. And talk to more people around here. They will tell you story after story after story.
Did my grandfather fool with dark magic? I don't know. But everything I've learned about him and everything I've ever heard about him, he was certainly a dark man himself.
Of course it's haunted. It's definitely haunted. And if you don't believe in ghosts before you leave there, you will be believing in ghosts after you leave.
It's haunted. It's haunted by my daddy, by my father's memory.
I don't believe in witchcraft, but if you're looking for certain things, chances are you're going to find it.
Mwah.